Welcome to the first ever Zelda Enemies Tournament, looking at the top 64 enemies from the N64 and pitting them against each other in a single round knockout elimination match decided by you, the viewers. Over 100,000 votes have been tallied, so let's get to it. You're watching the Brando playback. The rules are simple. Two images go up and the viewers decide which they prefer more. A true matchup where any underdog can take it to the finals. Who will make it to the next stage of the round of 32? Well, let's find out. Our first match pits the classic octarrock versus the Shabam. The octarrock, famous for shooting popcorn kernels, easily won the first match 84-16. Most people didn't even know what a Shabam was and referred to it as a bubble. Better luck next time. Match 2 featured a fan favorite who was expected to go far in the tournament, the redead vs Keys. This was easily one of the most one-sided matchups in the tournament, with 93% going to the redead. The Keys crew were mighty upset with this matchup. With this classic member down, the rest of the Keys crew are really gonna have to work hard to keep it going. Most commented about the redead having an easy path to the quarterfinals, but time will tell. A double Majora's Mask special up next with the real bombchu versus the hip loop. Despite bombchu exploding on impact and dying in the field, it seems to have exploded into the hearts of many as it made out the victor in this tie, 73-27. The green bubble, being the first to represent the hotly anticipated Bubble Brothers, started strong in the polls before being absolutely trounced on by the big Deku Baba. This was an even match for about 12 hours, but every day since, the Deku Baba has been picking up pace. A big loss for Team Bubble, who was hoping to start strong. Final score, 66-34. In our fifth round, Bari went up against the classic Skulltula. It really had no chance as most people seem to hate this thing. A straightforward win for the Skull Boys at 82%. The sixth round was the most exciting match yet. Disappointed by their loss early, Team Bubble rallied and started this poll strong. For the first 12 hours, they were in a dead even tie before Blue Bubble pulled ahead by 1%. A day later, however, a large Baby Dodongo initiative pulled together and fought back to barely edge out a victory in one of our closest matchups. Baby wins 55-45. Keys crew are back at it again with a frosty fury to take on the liik, but it was a one-sided victory. The liik sucked up votes the same way it sucks up shields and tunics, 76-24. Keys crew were not happy about this result. A unique matchup of P-Hat versus Anubis, an enemy only really seen in Ocarina of Time. While Anubis saw a strong lead at first due to being so unique, it fell off as the P-Hat flew to victory with a 65% rally of its supporters declaring, "Viva la Pineapple!" Truly inspirational. Keys crew are back at it again with its final team member, Fire, against the wibbly wobbly Choo Cho. Fire Keys was doused in the polls as years of hatred emerged over losing a Deku shield. It was not a pretty sight. Without even trying, Choo Cho chugged along to a 59% victory. But how much longer will it choo along? All we can say is that with this victory, the Keys crew have been completely eliminated. All of them in stage 1. Better luck next time. Desbrecco vs Wolfos. This was a bloodbath. Being as one-sided as 98-2 at one time, the Wolfos took a demanding lead over the Desbrecco. Most people commented saying, "Never even seen that before," and "Hate those fish, LMAO." In the end, Wolfos howled to a 92% win. If anything is clear from this poll, it's that people hate Jabu Jabu's belly, and the curse only continues as Lizalfos demolished the Beery. Lizalfos seemed to be a fan favorite, as many appreciating the draconic lizard human-like form as an enemy combatant. The Beery in the end was all washed up. Lizalfos 94, Beery 6. Next up, we have a fan unfavored, the Takuri vs Big Po. Some hailed the Takuri as a unique enemy, while others just poured their hate into this enemy. To quote Stargrace 420, "All my homies hate that stupid bird." And that summed up the polls. With virtually no one commenting about the Big Po itself, it seems to have vanished off to the next round with 84%. The Chuchu gang finally came up against some real stiff competition with the Armos. Most agreed the Chuchu in this game were amongst the least favorite Chuchus in the series, giving the Armos a easy win, 77-23. The Dongo Squad's mid-rank competitor faced off against the ninja-like Garo. Most comments boosted Garo for playing Bob Babowski in his off time in the hit show SMG4.
Give it back, Bob!
I don't have it anymore, and I strongly adhere to buyer-seller confidentiality.
You sold it?!
There is.
Many fans of Dodonga were upset at this early loss. We caught up to speak with Garo after the fight to see how he was feeling, and he responded with, I quote, "Ow, my ovaries." Bob Garo with a nice 69% win. Nice. Next up, Gerudo versus the Peahat Larva. In the end, it was an easy victory for Gerudo, winning with 94% of the vote. Many lamented at the unfair matchup, citing seating corruption by the organizers. In the end, it was swift victory for the Gerudo. A huge fan favorite has entered the arena. Iron Knuckle versus Giant B. In the end, it was a one-sided competition. To quote Juan the Horse 420, Coughing Baby versus Hydrogen Bomb. Quite right. A massacre as Iron Knuckle won with 96%. And due to the seeding, a wild matchup is ahead for Gerudo and Iron Knuckle. Two huge fan favorites going at it with only a round of 32. Very exciting matchup to come. Halfway there in another one-sided affair as Stallchild beat Shellblade 93-7. Most commented how they hated Shellblade and praised the iconic nature of the Stallchild. Igore vs Wallmaster. A heated debate ensued. CD31000 commented, "If I never saw another Wallmaster in my life, I would be happy. These dreadful enemies hide above you, a shadow growing with an ominous sound in your eyes before it grabs you and chucks you out." Despite the massive hate for this enemy and the genuine love for Igore, Wallmaster took a victory, scoring 63 in a highly controversial win. Huge day for the handy grabbers. Igore unfortunately not making it out of stage 1. Big disappointment as he returns back to Stone Tower Temple for more training. Perhaps one of the most hotly anticipated matchups in the series was a bloodbath. Stalfos vs Gudo. These undead combatants both started out strong with swings between both, but in the end, Stalfos took a demanding lead, and the Gudo dance party, unfortunately, left with only a consolation prize of 10 refreshing blasts. Quoted saying as he left, this, I bear you no remorse. And the Gudo left. Excited to see how far the Stalfos make it, winning in its first bout, 79-21. Match 20 saw the Stinger and the Mad Scrub. Unlike the Keys crew, the Deku Kingdom send out only one of their best to represent all of them, the Mad Scrub, a wild enemy that is selling nothing except the smack of their nut in your face. The strategy worked as the Mad Scrub sent the Stinger packing with a 94% victory. The Jabu Jabu curse continues, and the Tail Passaron were smacked aside by the strong hand of the Floor Masters. The Floor Master variant, remember, does not grab and teleport you out, but instead grabs and gets stronger, creating children when struck down. Really got a hand to the Floor Master. Now that he's a father figure, these little guys are a handful. Floor Master with 87. Goma Larva vs Dynalphos turned out to be a rowdy call to action in Nintendo to bring back lizards to Zelda. Many seem to have been backing the two lizard brothers, the Lizalfos and Dynalphos, interested to follow their story as it develops. Dynalphos wins 85-15. Match 24 saw a huge bout between Poe and Skull Kid. Of course, Skull Kid referring to the enemy you fight in Ocarina of Time and not the imp seen in MM. Many viewers were flabbergasted that Poe had such ill luck. Do Not Pass Go said Poe would have stand a fighting chance against any other enemy. Womp womp. And true enough, as many of the comments couldn't help but talk about the character's development that Skull Kid would have in the future. Folks, this kid is going far, with many backing him all the way to the finals. Poe vs Skull Kid, Poe 22, Skull Kid 78. Moving along. Time to cool things down with Moblin Vs Freezer. This chill battle was tame, as much of the talk concerned with the need to bring Moblins back. These glorified hallway monitors were underused and people demand their resurgence. And this poll shows that. Moblins win 77. Team Bubble's last hope was the Red Bubble as it took on Black Poe. This was a fierce battle as Team Bubble needed a win to move on. After seeing the Keys crew get knocked so early, they wanted a win, not to repeat that exit. The cute appeal of the bows worked for a spell until people realized how annoying they were. Red Bubble win 68-32. A tremendous effort moving them on to the next round. Beos Vs Snapper. All of the comments speak for themselves. Microwave Oven 2 wrote,
Gag rap,
user VP5FO1MT7R says,
gag rap,
Hero Lionheart 68 comments,
gag rap,
Worry 0R link input,
gag rap,
and Pelinal White Strake 7352 contributed.
gag rap,
But despite these pleas, Beos took the win 67-33. Eno vs Dragonfly. This was a fantastic bout to clear out the day's events as the Soul Patch Snowman knocked out the Dragonfly 71-29. Quoted a commenter, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, that horrid fly has got to go." Fierce competition between the Gwei and the White Bubble as Team Bubble, still hot off their win earlier, strike again to win the bout 64-36. Not even the Giga Gwei was enough to sway the peoples of their hate for Gweis in the end. The iconic White Wolfos vs Club Moblin was next, and the judges were mixed on this. Many loved the puzzle that was getting to the Club Moblin, but most couldn't overlook the iconic nature and design of the White Wolfos. White Wolfos wins this one, 75% on the vote. In our penultimate matchup, we saw the Nedgeron versus the Blue Techtite. Many comments spoke of the Nedgeron being a source of nightmare fuel. This twisted sister was an explosive combatant, but the iconic Techtite took the win, 77-23. And finally, we have the Skullfish versus the Death Armos, finishing up the final match of Stage 1. Skullfish were no match for this epic puzzling nature of the Death Armos, a devious Stone Tower Temple exclusive that comes in as an Armos lookalike, but harder. Death Armos advances, 78-22. And there you have it, the initial Stage 1 results. 64 combatants entered, and only half remain. Join us tomorrow as the Stage of 32 begins, and let's just quickly highlight some of the hottest matches. A double white blind off will take place with the White Bubble versus White Wolfos. We also have Floor Master versus the Dynalphos, two big clubs going at it and an exciting rivalry forming as we speak. But the biggest matchup has to be Gudo versus Iron Knuckle. Both won their Stage 1 matches with over 90% of the vote. This is going to be one for the ages, and controversial as one of these fan favorites is going home early in the Stage of 32. Thanks for joining me on the Brando Playback. We'll see you soon in the round of 32.